What's an unwritten rule in your household that would seem bizarre to outsiders? Growing up, there was only one thing that my mom forced me to do: screenshot every text message. It didn't matter if it was an argument with a friend or a text with classmates about homework. At the end of every day, I had to send them to her, and she would organize them into a huge database that she kept on her computer. She had them all in organized folders, sorted by person, place, time, and date. My little brother Noah had to do it too, starting from when he got his first phone at 10. But my mom was the type to drop me off at my friends' houses and refuse to drive away until she saw me walk in, to binge watch those documentaries about catching kitty fiddlers. So it's not like this was exactly out of character. But then I started to notice something. Every time my stepdad Trent called her a W word and accused her of cheating, she'd whip out the text screenshots like it was a loaded gun. March 4th, 3:28 p.m. Here's me telling my coworker that I'm in a relationship. And instead of apologizing or even just nodding his head, Trent would clench his fists. It was like he wanted a reason to get mad. Another time, while my mom was showering, Trent started accusing me. He asked me where I was last Saturday. I was shopping with mom. I know you're covering up for your idiot mother, he interrupted before raising his fist to wail on me. And just as I braced for impact, my mom stormed in. Wait, she said, before showing him texts between us planning to go to the mall, as well as a conversation with her sister about how funny it was that we ran into her at, the mall. Trent grunted and walked away. She tried to lie to me and tell me that Trent suffered from low blood sugar, which makes him lose control of himself. But I knew that if it wasn't for that screenshot to keep me safe, I would have ended up in school the next day with a black eye. But instead of confronting her, I plastered on the most naive face I could muster and smiled. "Oh, okay. You and Trent are so cute together," I exclaimed. You see, I wanted to know exactly what Trent was up to, and I knew that by playing dumb, my mom wouldn't try to hide anything from me. But not even the screenshots or constant tiptoeing could stop the bruises. I still remember the first time I noticed something was wrong. We were in the middle of playing Mario Kart, and I raised my hand to celebrate once I won. But as soon as I did that, I saw my mom flinch. It was only for a split second, but still, it was there. The next day, I saw the unmistakable sight of yellow and green bruises all along her arm when her sleeve accidentally fell. My heart broke, and I was instantly filled with the familiar feeling of hatred towards my biological father. You see, when they were still together, my mom used to work as a receptionist at his dental practice, and outside of that, she would do all the motherly duties. It was the perfect setup, until he abandoned us for one of his clients and started a new family, that is. And since my mom signed a prenup, he left us with nothing. Trent came into the picture a few months later, and they got married within just weeks of meeting each other. Me and my mom were both convinced he was different, until he started on his BS. But all this meant that my mom couldn't just leave him, so now we were stuck. For a while, I just focused on becoming a second parent in the house, protecting Noah, subtly comforting my mom in ways that wouldn't show that I knew what was going on. Because if he wanted to collect our texts, then I'd make sure he'd never text again. And it all started with me licking his A. Whenever he'd yell at my mom, I'd text him and start a conversation about what a useless piece of shit she is. Whenever he thought my mom was cheating, I affirmed to him that he deserved better, and he ate it up every single time. So much so that he stopped asking to see my texts, because he didn't want to get caught for what he was saying. And he stopped yelling at Noah, too. He thought we were both on his side. I was fast asleep at 2 a.m. when I heard a glass smash to pieces in the kitchen. I shot up and ran down the stairs. What I saw made me nauseous. Trent, holding one of the pieces of glass over my mom's head. "I wouldn't do that if I was you," my voice painfully condescending. "I've been recording everything you've been doing for the last year. All the bruises, the texts, the shouting, and they've all been sent to my friend's dad, who's a lawyer." He stopped in his tracks. My mom looked at me with a mix of awe and sadness. I just have low blood sugar," he stammered. The thought of being outed hit him like a brick. Trent left that night with 2 suitcases and a promise that this wasn't over. But it was. The restraining order was filed within 48 hours. The divorce papers a week later. The screenshot rule ended the day Trent moved out too. And after just 6 months of peace, we got a knock at the door. It wasn't Trent. It was CPS. My little brother Noah had reported my mom to his guidance counselor under the guidance of Trent. They had secretly been in contact the whole time. Full story on channel, link below.